Welcome to the Warning Track Power Hour. I am Dr. Andrew Scaff. He is Dr. Michael Warman, Esquire. On today's show, we'll eventually get to talk about the Oscars and how right we were, Mike, about a lot of the decisions that we or choices that we made about what might win different categories. We'll talk about the World Baseball Classic in the NCAA tournament a little bit later as well. But we'll kick off today with a little bit of Chiefs off-season news. Mike, we speculated last week about who the Chiefs might go after to back up Mahomes on the season, and it wasn't very long for us to get our answer. Apparently, the Chiefs have traded a next year's sixth round pick
Yeah,
for to the Jets for Justin Fields. How do you feel about the new backup in Kansas City?
I think that's a really interesting pick. I think Fields is somebody that can play not only as Mahomes' backup, but also could play at the same time as Mahomes as sort of a gadgety player,
Potentially,
whether
yeah.
he's in the backfield or as a wide receiver maybe, or as this as a second quarterback option.
Yeah.
Um, I've always been in favor of the two quarterback offense with directional snapping and
Yes.
unpredicted and being having two quarterbacks that can both run and throw. Um, and maybe this is what they have, or maybe it's also just a sign that they aren't sure what Mahomes is going to be like at the beginning of the season, and they want somebody who can run the offense and has some upside. And I think that's
Yeah.
something that Fields is. I think he's a really good running quarterback, and maybe he can still be developed as a decent passing quarterback.
Yeah.
He played fairly well for Chicago sometimes. He played okay for Pittsburgh when he was in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Um, he was stuck in the Jets, so he was injured last year a lot, so it was hard to see what he was going to
Yeah.
do. But um,
Yeah, you kind of
yeah,
give him a pass for the Jets year, right? Like you don't know if it was him or the Jets, and then you kind of have a history of knowing that the Jets aren't that great in general.
yeah, and he's only gonna. I think he's getting paid $10 million next year, but the Jets are paying $7 million of it. I think so. It's a
Yeah.
pretty cheap deal for the Chiefs. Although maybe you thought the Chiefs could have got it even cheaper if they just let the Jets release him and then try to pick him up after the Jets released him. But maybe they weren't
Yeah.
sure they'd be able to get him otherwise. So trading a six-round pick next year isn't a whole lot of um, draft capital for somebody that could be conceivably as starting quarterback of the NFL at some point, maybe just a reclamation project, and somebody who could be like Sam Darnold or somebody who was a very hyped prospect at one point,
Yeah.
but just was lost in the shuffle after a
Yeah.
while. So yeah, it wasn't somebody I would have predicted it at all, but it shows what the Chiefs are good at. I think trying to find talent wherever they can. And I don't know if this was an Andy Reid decision, more of a Brett Veach decision, or both. But I think it's interesting.
Enemy maybe had some input on it too. I don't know.
Yeah, Bieniemy.
Got plans probably.
He likes. He's a running back by um, trade originally. Maybe
Yes.
had a little bit of a Matt Nagy stamp because Matt Nagy was in Chicago as well. I don't know if he was in Chicago when Fields was there, but um,
Yeah, they
Fields
would
was
have overlapped. Yeah, I think that was.
overlapped a little bit. Maybe the last year of Nagy,
Yeah.
was first year of Fields. Maybe when they had Eberflus as well in
Yeah.
uh, Chicago. But yeah, so it was interesting. He's still a young player. I think it's an interesting pickup for sure, and somebody that would be, I think, somebody who could help the Chiefs win games even if he's not starting. Um, and yeah, he adds a very dynamic um, running ability to the offense, and he could, maybe on quarterback sneaks or short yardage plays, he could be the guy uh, in there, and they could run some of the plays that they stopped running when after Mahomes was injured in that freak quarterback sneaky accident in Denver a few years ago.
That was like 5, 6 years ago at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So so do you think that this is uh like a sign that we should be a bit worried that Mahomes might not be ready to go week one, and that's why they went after a more legit starting QB?
Well, they could have. There are other players that could have gotten and that would maybe listen to like Kirk Cousins or somebody like that. They could have gotten or Russell Wilson. There's just some other players out there that maybe could play that same role as Fields playing for a few games. So I'm not sure if that was just something that they wanted somebody who could start. And Mahomes might not be 100% when he comes back, but he also might get hurt again in the season. So you want somebody that could
Yeah.
play either way. So yeah, I don't. And maybe with Walker as the running back, maybe it shows that the Chiefs are more of a, they could be more of a running team, at least in part, with uh, with Fields as the quarterback. So yeah, it's hard. I don't know if it's not. I think it's just playing it safe more than predicting that Mahomes won't be back. Because it
Yeah.
seems like Mahomes is the way he's been talking, the way people have been talking, is that his recovery has gone really well, really well. So maybe he'll be able to make it back by the beginning of the season. But
Yeah.
preseason and things like that, maybe not so much. And he
Yeah.
won't be the, and he won't be the same kind of quarterback maybe at the beginning of the year. So maybe you want that running option in there from time to time to
Mm,
help out. So
at least situationally, if not
yeah.
like as a regular, like a
Mhm.
whole series or something, just coming in for like a specific type of play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then, I think we've talked before too about like, the difference between the starting QB and the backup QB. You know, Mahomes and Fields aren't super different from each other, so maybe that makes it easier on the offensive coordinator and play calling abilities too for the team. Like they don't have to like completely change their offense if they go from Mahomes to Fields because it's still going to
Maybe
be.
they're different enough at least though. There's one is much more a running
Yeah,
running first than a
but it's
passer.
not like Mahomes to like a statue though, like where
Yeah,
if your
it's the other
offensive
way.
line isn't, yeah, it's two mobile quarterbacks, like one filling in for the other, where it won't be, you have to completely switch your offense up if
Yeah.
you have like a guy that can't move, right? And your
Yeah.
offensive line is you're not confident that your offensive line can hold for long enough to give your statue a chance to get rid of the ball.
Yeah. Although you could say maybe Mahomes will be more of a statue quarterback after his ACL injury, at least for the first
You may
uh
want him to be more of a
few
statue.
games or season
Yeah,
uh back. So yeah, maybe Fields is a little different from what the future Mahomes will look like this year. So yeah, I
yeah.
think it's an interesting pick and one that I think could pay dividends. Um, I'm not sure what else other roster moves the Chiefs made. I think they're just gearing up for the draft mostly at this point. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, they haven't made any other really big splashes in free agencies that we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
Um, any other NFL news that you wanted to?
I think we did mention, I
Uh,
think briefly last week that about Kyler Murray potentially going to Minnesota, and he did go
They
to
did go to
Minnesota
Minnesota.
then. So
Yeah.
do you like that fit there for
Well, I
Kyler
think
Murray
he's
in
I
Minnesota,
think
or do you think
he's
he's
at
going to
least
be a
an
purely backup at that point?
I think he'll be ahead of McCarthy probably. He's
Uh,
at least an average NFL quarterback, and I think if Minnesota had average NFL quarterback play, they're a playoff team last year.
yeah.
So they still I think we're 9-8 or something like that this past season, even though they didn't have much of a quarterback, at least not a consistent quarterback. So yeah, I think Murray is maybe a good a very buy low kind of prospect, and I think he could play well up in Minnesota. Um, and yeah, I think they could challenge for the divisional title. I think still a very good division with Detroit having been down a little bit last year, but Detroit's still a NFC contender as are the other three teams
Hmm.
The other two teams that we Green Bay and Chicago, were both
Okay.
playoff teams last year. So um, yeah, that's a tough division. It's maybe top to bottom the best division in football. At least if you think Minnesota will be lifted with that move. Some of the other good divisions, like the AFC West, the Raiders are down, so they have three good teams, one not so good team, or the NFC
Yeah.
West, also same thing, three good teams, maybe one not quite as good team in the Cardinals.
Yeah. We seem to be in
So
a rebuild now that they've moved
yeah,
Kyler Murray. What, I mean, yeah, he's another cheap option though too for Minnesota. Like he'll be, because he was released from his contract, so if
he's making the veteran minimum for Minnesota, but getting paid 39 million or something from Arizona.
yeah, similar to what yeah Tua Tagovailoa has too for
Mhm.
now in Atlanta, right? For
Yeah.
Miami, who's now traded their remaining best receiver to the Broncos, I guess. Wasn't that was the news from today?
Yeah, Jaylen Waddle was traded to the Broncos for a package of draft picks, including the first round draft pick this year and a third round and a fourth round, I think.
Yeah,
So yeah, that was a big trade for the Broncos. I guess the Broncos were looking for more over the top speed, a higher end talent at the receiver position to build around Bo Nix, who's still cheap for a couple more years. Um, and yeah, it's a you wonder now. We talked about this before going on the air. Where's Tyreek Hill going to go? Is he going to go back to the Chiefs? Is he going to go someplace else? That would be interesting to see what happens with Tyreek. But yeah, Waddle's gone, Hill is gone. So who's left? I think just means either rebuilding in Miami completely, sort of a tear down
yeah.
rebuild, which yeah, I don't know if it bodes well. It doesn't bode well this season for Miami. Maybe in future years, maybe they'll be okay.
Which rebuilding team do you think is most likely to bounce back to have at least an okay season though? Do you think it'll be Miami or Arizona?
This year,
Yeah,
Miami is in a division that's not as good. So Arizona is in
yeah,
a tougher division. Uh,
right,
so like they have three good teams to face, including Super Bowl champions and NFC title contenders, and
right.
uh, whereas the Dolphins only have really the Bills, and I guess the Patriots won the Super Bowl last year, but
Yeah,
they still also have the Jets, who aren't so good, another rebuilding team. And the Bills might be on the way down. And I think we might see that the Patriots are a bit of a fluke this year. So I guess you would say the Dolphins have a better chance of contending, but I don't think really they do either.
yeah,
Compared to the Cardinals, maybe, but not compared to most of the other teams in the AFC.
yeah. So when
Who's
it
the
comes to like over under win totals, Mike, are you giving Minnesota at least 5 win season? Not Minnesota, Miami.
five? No, I don't think.
At this point, we don't. I mean, you don't
I
really
would
know what
say
their roster looks
I
like
would
yet.
I
So
would go under whatever. If it was 5.5, I would go under.
yeah,
Um, 4.5, I don't know. But if I can see them 5-12, something like that. Uh,
yeah,
Arizona, I could see as a 3-14 probably kind of
yeah,
team. So something like that. At least right now, we
yeah.
don't. I don't. We'll see how the rosters shake out and what
Right.
happens. But yeah, that's the NFL. Um, any any more football talk? You want to transfer over to baseball? Looks like the World Baseball Classic is going on right now, and Venezuela is in the championship game, defeating, at least leading against the USA 2-0. Michael Garcia had one of the RBIs and sacrifice fly to score Salvador Perez uh, to score the first run for Venezuela. So Venezuela's up 2-0 in Miami right now in this bottom of the seventh inning. So uh, not too many more chances for the USA, Team USA to get in. So hopefully, they
Yeah,
can. They've had some trouble scoring runs in the World Baseball Classic at times.
really, this
They
whole like knockout phase, they've not scored a lot of runs. They
hmm
squeaked by Dominican Republic
Yeah.
in the semifinal, right?
Mm.
It was a 2-1 game, right?
Two,
Wasn't it?
2-1. Yeah.
Yeah, two solo home runs. Also, it wasn't a yeah. They
So
didn't
we'll
manage to
see what.
manufacture anything. It was just two big flies, and that was it. So,
Yeah.
and they'll need that tonight just to tie it up. So they'd still need more.
Yeah, it's 2 outs right now in the bottom of the seventh inning. So USA's down to seven, only seven more outs
Yeah,
for
we
Team
might have
USA.
a final by the time we wrap up today's episode.
Yeah, Angel
Oh,
Zerpa is pitching right now for the
oh,
former Royal, no longer Royal, I don't believe. Angel Zerpa. I think he was
that's right.
traded.
Yeah,
He was traded in the offseason.
that's
Uh,
right.
but but yeah, a lot of Royals in and around the World Baseball Classic have done really well. So Italy made a semifinal appearance. Jack Caglione and Vinny Pasquantino both played very well. Um, and yeah, of course, Bobby Wood Jr. playing batting lead off for the Team USA, and then a number of other Royals on other teams, including Michael Garcia and um, Salvador Perez for Venezuela, which is right now in the catbird seat. Look like they might be the team that's going to win the World Baseball Classic.
They're in a good
Um,
position. Yeah. Oh,
but
neat.
yeah, any news regarding the Royals' actual spring training team? They're losing right now to the Dodgers, and they've lost more games in spring training than they've won. I don't know. Does that uh, but they've had, Jonathan India has been batting leadoff. He actually, according to fall, if you like right as of right now, he has a 536 on base percentage uh, as the leadoff as a batting leadoff. So does that mean you think India could finally be the leadoff hitter they thought he was going to be, or do you think they should still put Bobby Witt as the leadoff hitter?
Well, the quick answer is just no. But he's not the leadoff hitter. He shouldn't be the leadoff hitter. He shouldn't have been the leadoff hitter last year either. No, Bobby Witt should be the guy. I don't know if they're willing to do it though. Hopefully, watching the World Baseball Classic, they'll follow suit though, and at least try it for a couple of months, right? Not just give it like a day or two, like they occasionally do, trying something out like a lineup move, but they need to give it plenty of time to see how they do over, a couple of months. That's like a good test there to see, make sure they get more at bats and more plate appearances than he would otherwise. But I don't know if they're going to follow through with that. But yeah, like almost everybody. I mean, at this point, typically in spring training, they would have sent a lot of these younger players home that aren't likely to be on the roster, but because they've had so many players playing this deep into the World Baseball Classic, yeah, they still need all of this roster that they're carrying right now.
Yeah. So
Do
maybe that's a good thing though. You're getting more
yeah,
players meaningful at bats and
yeah.
experience and stuff like that. So maybe this will bode well for the Royals moving forward. But we'll see when the season starts around in about a couple of weeks. Should be 1st of April, end of March usually when the
I
baseball
think they
season starts.
play. I think they play an entire series before April starts.
Oh, do
I think
they?
their home opener is still in March. Even it's pretty crazy, like how early the season starts. 'Cause I think the home opener is like I think they open in Atlanta,
Yeah, they play Atlanta first.
and then I think the home opener is still in March though. Yeah, March 30th is the home opener. Monday, March 30th. It's
Yeah,
week
March
7.
27th through 29th at Atlanta. March
Yeah,
30th through April 2nd is their first home series.
yeah. That seems pretty crazy though, right? To have like an entire series in before March is over.
Yeah. So starting early.
Yeah. But yeah, March 30th through April 2nd in Minnesota. Do you think the weather will be cooperative, or are we going to get like a snow game? Or
I wouldn't be surprised if it was. It's actually home against
no,
Minnesota.
it's in Kansas City. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, it's in Kansas City, so it's still gonna be snowy. You never know in Kansas City.
that's true.
I remember about, maybe 10, 15 years ago, there were some snow games. At the beginning of May, even there was a snowy game that the Royals
Yeah,
were playing, maybe 2013-ish.
I think I was
Season.
at one of those snow games anyway. Yeah,
Yeah, I
in Kansas
remember
City.
that was I think my last year in Kansas City.
Hmm.
Um, I remember that.
Man, it didn't seem like it was that long ago. Is that right?
It's been a while.
13 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a little
Jeez.
while. It's gone by. We've aged.
Yeah.
But the Royals have gone through a lot of changes since yeah. So that was before the Royals went to the World Series, and they've been, now they're uh,
Right.
10 years past their championship. 11 years now past their championship. This season, will be 2026 season. They lost one in
Yeah.
2015. So uh, yeah, it's been a while.
But that means we still have almost 20 years before their next scheduled championship, which is, I believe, every 30 years
Every 30 years.
they go
Yeah,
and win, right?
hopefully before that, we'll see. But they don't want Bobby Witt Jr. to um, have to be 44 years old when the Royals
Right.
uh, win the championship. You don't want to waste his career.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see what happens with them. But we March, of course, is college basketball. March Madness, men's tournament, women's tournament, both are beginning later this week. We've made some brackets so far. We're gonna fill out our other making brackets of following many different methodologies to see which ones turn out to be the tops, whether it's our own insights or whether we just follow the seedings or follow the Ken Pomeroy rankings or things like that, which would be the what's the best predictor of success in your bracket. Again, with only one game to win or lose, it's fair. There's an amount of randomness that's introduced
Yeah.
that isn't in some of the other playoff formats. So it's somewhat of a crapshoot. The best team doesn't always win, um, and so it's also what makes March interesting. Uh, our alma maters, Arkansas, won the SEC basketball tournament and is number 4 seed in the same bracket as number 1 seed Arizona. Uh, Iowa State is the number 2 seed in the same bracket as number 1 seed Michigan. Um, do you like Iowa State's chances to make the Final Four, Dr. Scaff? Are you picking them to go all the way this year?
Well, I think we each always fill out like a homer bracket, so they'll win in one of my brackets. But I don't know if that's going to be really what I think will happen. They do tend to have like these scoring droughts, and then all that takes in a tournament game is one game to have a scoring drought,
Hmm.
and it's over, right? So like you can't do that basically at all in a in a tournament setting. So I'm afraid that that's going to be the case. So I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic, but they're a really good team. They can beat anybody. They fell just short against Arizona the second time they faced them in the Big 12 semifinal. That game could have gone either way. The last second shot that Arizona hit that won it for them. Then they went on to win pretty handily against Houston in the final. So they took Arizona to the edge of that game at least anyway. So I think they can beat anybody. They know they can beat anybody, so they can be really dangerous in a tournament. Same situation for Arkansas. You think they can take out just about anybody?
They
Are
could.
you
I think they
and
have
are
one
you
of the
picking
best.
them to win it
They
all?
have one of the best players in the tournament, Darius Acuff, freshman guard, who's scored 30 points I think 4 times in the past few weeks. So he's one of those players that can carry a team on his back and has done that. Did that in the SEC tournament. Could perhaps do that in the NCAA tournament. I think there's a couple
Right.
of tough matchups because it's they would play in the Sweet 16 if they won the first two games. They would play against Arizona, who I think is maybe the best team overall. I think they've been the number two overall seeded number one seed, but
Mhm.
a team that only lost two games the whole year. So um, I think that's a tough matchup. But John
Yeah.
Calipari is an experienced coach who has won national championships before in Kentucky. Also, I think took Memphis to a championship game.
Yeah.
Did UMass, I think, to Final Fours as well. So he's been uh, a really good coach for a very long time.
Yeah.
So he knows how to navigate the tournament. So I think I could see them doing it. I could see a scenario where many different teams, including uh, my favorite bracket that I make every year, the SCAF nightmare scenario, where
No.
where Andrew's hated nemesis, the Kansas Jayhawks, win the national championship. KU has proven they can beat Arizona. They can beat any team in the field. They can also lose probably to any team in the field. Uh, but in your nightmares, in my nightmare bracket that I picked for you, I have KU defeating Iowa State in the championship, um, and
So cruel.
that would be extra cruel for you, I believe, living in Kansas City among so many KU fans.
Ah, that's the worst. Yeah. And I was not a KU fan growing up in Kansas City, hearing about KU all the time. And then it subsided a bit when I was actually in Ames, though. But then it was all Hawkeye stuff all the time in
Hmm.
Iowa. So they became more annoying just because of all the chirping of all the people around. But then, yeah, coming back to Kansas City, oh, those Jayhawk fans are just so terrible, Mike. They're so dumb.
Hmm.
It's painful. And
Painful.
yes, I think you debated between having Iowa State lose in the first round or in the championship to KU,
Yes.
and yet you are correct. That is much worse of a scenario than losing in the first round. Much worse. It's much worse, Mike. It's gonna be so much more
Losing,
painful.
losing to Kansas in the
Yes.
championship. Would it be
How did
worse?
so? What did you pick in all of the other games? Did you try to decide who I would like or dislike more or
Yeah,
less, or
I
was it or was it just like a chalk, except for those
no,
two teams to meet in the finals?
I picked mainly teams that
Or did you clear a path so that
I
like Iowa State had to have like the toughest route to get there just to
I
lose
picked
to a hated team, or but KU like everybody lost a game before they had to face them, so then it was an easy path for them.
I picked teams that I thought you also would dislike in the Final Four.
Yes.
I picked Iowa
Ooh.
to go to the Final Four
Oh,
and Missouri to go to the Final Four.
that's pretty annoying. Yeah.
But I had Iowa State beating Missouri
It's a very
and
regional Final Four
KU,
then.
KU beating Iowa. Yeah, very regional Final Four in Indianapolis. But I ended up, yeah, I tried to pick the teams that I thought you wouldn't like in the Final Four, but
Yeah.
then lift your
You
hopes
did
briefly by beating
you
Missouri.
did a great job. Thanks. Oh.
Scaff nightmare. Yeah, I
uh,
had. Um, yeah, I don't know who. Yeah, I think having becoming so close. I don't know if it would be worse to lose in a blowout to KU in the championship game or lose a close game
mm,
to KU in the
mm,
championship.
mm.
I think it might be worse to be blown out. I would guess.
Yeah, I think that'd be worse for sure.
If KU won by 30 points in the championship over Iowa
That'd be
State.
bad. It'd be real
Yeah.
bad, Mike. Let's
And then
not.
winning on a buzzer beater would hurt, but I think because you already lost, you lost, and you'd have to face the KU fans, they would be much more insufferable if they won big over Iowa State. I think in the final,
Yes, for sure.
that would be
Yes.
the SCAF nightmare bracket. So we couldn't pick a final score. We just had to pick there's an ESPN site. It's just how many total points will be scored in the championship game. So
Right.
um, we
Did you usually have a huge total, but like you just know that it's lopsided, or did you pick a
it
really
was
low
pretty
total?
high.
and also keep it lopsided though. So it's like only
I was
100
pretty
points, but
high
it's like
total.
70 to 30 or something.
It was 171 I put in that one,
Oh
so
wow.
that's a pretty high scoring. Could be 86 to 85, or it could be 101 to 70, uh, something like that.
You're going with that one for sure.
Yeah,
Ugh, painful, Mike. Painful.
but
Look,
that's the Scap's nightmare bracket.
I like Iowa State does have a pretty nice uh actual like location set. They don't have to go very far in any of their games. I think the first round games are in St. Louis. And if they make it to the Sweet 16, they'll be in Chicago, and then the
Hmm.
final four is in Indianapolis. So like
Indianapolis. Yeah.
they really only like all their fans should be able to travel that far if they're able to go deep into the tournament. They should have a good chance for having a lot of fans with them, which is usually preferable to being like buried somewhere in a terrible location, which frequently
Yeah.
happens in these tournaments.
Yeah, they get shipped out west or Spokane or uh
Yeah,
you know
somewhere just yeah, not desirable place to be, like in the the edge of winter still, I guess, right in the time of
Boise,
year.
someplace like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Buffalo or something, and
Yeah.
upstate New York somewhere, and
Uh-huh.
in mid March.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, Arkansas is going to be out west as well, but they play. I can't remember. I don't know where their opening games are. But yeah, I'd like to see Arkansas do well, make the Final Four,
Yeah,
yeah, which they haven't done for 30 years. So um, yeah,
we did tune
that'd
in
be exciting.
to the SEC final. It was an exciting game. I did not expect to see Arkansas and Vanderbilt as being the two representatives there in the final, though. Did you? Is that what you would have guessed, that those two would
Well,
be?
I think Vanderbilt upset Florida,
Yeah,
and I can't remember who Arkansas beat. It was maybe Tennessee or Alabama, one of those. I don't know which
yeah.
one it
Alabama got a pretty high seed, so it's probably. I guess I don't know.
was. Yeah, so it was. Yeah, I think yeah, it's the first I think the first time that Arkansas has won the SEC tournament since I was in college. So it's been 25 years at least since Arkansas won the SEC tournament. So it's been a long time. So
They said that
um
was only their second win, I think, and I think Vanderbilt has only won once too. So I thought that was kind of surprising that infrequent champions of the
yeah.
SEC tournament were the ones that were in the final. So it wasn't you know the long storied constant winners all the time.
Yeah, it wasn't Florida, it wasn't
Yeah,
I don't know probably Florida wins probably Kentucky historically probably wins one a lot.
yeah,
Teams like that.
right. Yeah.
But yeah, so we
Do you
have a lot
have
of.
besides your my nightmare scenario? Do you have another favorite methodology, like mascot fights? Who would win in the
I
mascot
haven't
fight, or
I haven't done one
you
of
used to do
those.
like a proximity to something, to
I
some
did do a
location.
proximity to me, location closer to
Did
me
you?
bracket. I didn't sometimes in the past I've been very exact, but this time I wasn't. I just kind of eyeballed it,
Yeah,
and if it was close, I just went with the better team.
probably the better way to do it.
But it still ended up with a uh well UVCU uh the championship against UMBC slash Howard because both of them are in the Baltimore or Washington area.
Yes.
Howard, I believe, won in the first four over Maryland, Baltimore County. So that's not going to be a good matchup. But Ohio State and Villanova were the other two Final Four teams in that bracket. But on the women's
Nice.
side, it was a little bit better. At West Virginia and Maryland, I believe, were the champ in the championship game. I think both of those were at least top five seeds.
Yeah, they're both
So,
decent seeds. Yeah.
um, but the women's championship, it seems like UConn is the overwhelming favorite since they haven't lost this year. I tried to make a
Right.
couple brackets where UConn didn't win, and um, picked some other teams, but I think UConn is probably the overwhelming favorite in the women's side. Although there are still some good teams. You have UCLA and you have
Sure.
South
Yeah.
Carolina, Texas, Michigan, some other good teams, but seems like it's much wider open on the men's side than it is right now on the women's. I don't
So
know
in
if that's all
your
it is.
who'd you go with for your champions of each of the you just your own picks, not the Homer bracket or the nightmare scenario for me or proximity.
Um,
Like, what was your who were your winners and your like thinking it through like however you wanted to do it, like your own picks basically without.
my own picks, I think I put what I really think. I think I put Arizona as my champion, which wasn't that different from my Big 12 uh, ideal scenario.
Yeah,
Uh, bracket, but I think I picked Arizona. I think they've been the most consistent all year. Also didn't
yeah,
want to pick Duke, so most of the
yeah,
ranking systems have Duke as the number one team, so they have Duke winning. So I had a few other brackets that had Duke to win, but I
yeah.
thought I went with Arizona. Um, I think
Arizona did beat Iowa
Houston,
State twice, so that's a decent
yeah,
choice.
Houston has come very close in recent years to winning.
Yeah,
So this might be their year. I could see that. But I like Iowa State. If it's not Arkansas, I would want Iowa State, I think, to win
uh,
uh, the championship. That would be my second favorite team, just for uh, Dr. Scaff purposes. But although the
yeah,
nightmare scenario would be really funny if KU could make it to the championship and defeat
yeah.
Iowa State, that would be really really funny. But I think I would actually want Iowa State to win.
I think last year the Scaff's nightmare bracket was didn't do very well at all. So that
No.
was not it was nowhere close to the darkest timeline for me, I guess,
Hmm.
for that. Maybe the real world was pretty dark, but yeah. The bracket was okay though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you think we'll do as well picking our NCAA bracket picks as we did in the Academy Awards nominations, Mike?
I doubt it because we've seen him pick the Oscars pretty well, and because we looked at the odds, and it seemed like the odds makers really kind of had knew what was going on with the Academy Awards, so we knew Jessie Buckley was going to win the Best Actress, especially. We knew probably One Battle After Another was going to win Best Picture and maybe Best Director. Um,
And they did
um,
both.
they did.
Both of them.
I
Yes.
think Michael B. Jordan they thought was going to win for Sinners, and they
I
did.
think
So like,
you were like sort of uh weren't necessarily happy about it, but could see it. I think that's what we
yeah,
concluded.
I didn't. I thought Sinners was a bit overrated as a movie, but it was a very good movie, but it wasn't like Oscar winning material movie. I didn't think.
Yeah,
But I'm glad it won some things. It was a fun movie to
yeah,
watch, and it was really kind of an interesting movie. But if you ever get a chance to see it, you should
yeah.
enjoy it, I
I
think.
should. Well, I should just watch the rest of the movies. I saw most of them,
Yeah.
so I should have just finished them.
Um, Yeah, the best movies. I don't know what I've only seen about half of the winners. Frankenstein was really cool visually, and it won a lot of stuff for visual effects, so I thought that was good.
Yeah,
Um, Train Dreams was really a pretty movie, but it was kind of slight in terms of what it did. There wasn't a whole lot to it, so that's probably why it didn't end up winning. But it was maybe also one of the more visually pleasing films to look at. But yeah, it was an interesting Oscar night. Anything surprise you coming out about the Oscars, or we just pat ourselves on the back because we predicted so many of the winners this year?
yeah. I think we totally nailed it this year, though. I mean, I think we decided we were going to watch all the movies, and so we could make an informed decision. And it seems like we're much better at this than we were at picking NFL games or most of the other sports betting that we've done. Maybe we should be like just betting on awards ceremonies, Mike, instead. Is that
Yeah,
This
you
seemed
wonder how
like
many
a better
upsets,
financial decision for us.
at least this year. When you wonder how many upsets they have in the Oscars, usually, or whether they can be whether they actually are this predictable.
Yeah,
Normally, I would guess probably not quite as predictable as usual as this year, but
yeah,
more predictable than random sports outcomes.
yeah.
But yeah, that was a it was I enjoyed watching the Oscars. I liked watching Conan. There's some good performances and some but yeah, it was it was a nice night of
Yeah.
awards. And
Right.
well,
Uh, Team USA has just tied the game on a Bryce Harper two-run homer.
ooh,
So now they've now moved on to the ninth, but there's now a tie game rather than trailing by 2 runs.
Bryce Harper, the clutch. He had been playing not terribly well in the World Baseball Classic, so it's probably good that he uh
He did drive in Bobby Witt, who had
would
walked one bet earlier. So like,
ooh, nice.
did his job, got on base.
Sorry, I was watching it. Could you hear
Yeah, it was kind of a muffled, garbled sound, but yes,
it?
heard the call. Yeah,
Better late than never. Bryce
yeah.
Harper. He had a big bat flip, apparently,
Oh yeah.
part of it.
Have you
Did
watched much of the World Baseball Classic then, or is it?
not really. I've just
Yeah,
seen a few highlights here and there. Saw some
yeah,
Bobby Junior fielding highlights and things like that,
yeah.
but I haven't watched. It's been on. I don't have Fox Sports uh, one on my. I don't. I'm mostly a streamer, so I don't have
Yeah,
the channels. But
basic
I'll
basic cable package.
yeah, yeah. I don't have basic cable, so I
Yeah,
just. But I will. I do have MLB TV, so I will be able to watch a lot of the Royals games
nice.
coming up. So that'll have that going for me. So I'll be able to watch those on a lot of nights. Um, but yeah, so we have let's we have. I guess I don't know if we want to stay on until the end of the World Baseball Classic. It might go on for a long time. So
It could go on for a while. It's probably not worth just stalling.
yeah, so maybe we should wrap. You want to wrap up this week's episode of the One Track Power Hour?
Sure.
Uh,
Well, go ahead and make a bold prediction. How's it going to end?
I think now that the U.S. has tied it, they probably will win. So I'm going to
USA
say
in a walk-off?
USA walk-off scenario because it's got to be a walk-off if the U.S. because the USA is the if they win because they're the home team.
Yeah. But is like a Schwarber going to hit a walk-off home run to end it like right away, or is it going to be like a an extended extra inning game? What's your guess?
I don't know. Do these extra inning games have the bequeathed runners in the World Baseball Classic?
I don't think so.
I don't know
Bequeathed
if they
run.
do
Why have they not adopted that name, Mike? That's the
or
why doesn't the league listen to us?
not.
We're giving them pure gold here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, did you started using the bequeathed runners, but when what was that your idea or is that did you see it somewhere?
You said it. I don't know. I got it from you.
Oh,
I don't know where you got it. Where did you get it?
I don't know. Maybe I saw it. I just got it from law school or something. I'm not quite sure. But
Yeah, that's definitely where I didn't I heard you say that, so that's where I got it. Like
okay.
the Joe Nathan versus Jonathan. That's what I hear that every time there's someone named Jonathan. I wonder which way it's spelled.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Is it Joe Nathan or is it the toilet race around the world?
The Jonathan. Yes.
That's what I hear in my head every time I hear the name Jonathan because of you, Mike. Thanks.
Well, thanks. Well, maybe the bequeathed runners. Maybe I did think of that one. I don't know. I thought I saw it I thought I had at least read it somewhere, so it wasn't. I don't believe I coined that term, but maybe
I would give you credit for it. I don't because I don't.
at least popularized the term. I'll give
Maybe
her.
not coined, but popularized. That's fair.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe,
But
maybe
since
not coined. And they're not ruling it out that you didn't coin
since
it.
it's such a popular term, because we have
Yeah.
so many legions of followers that watch the
Allegiance.
Warning Track Power Hour. Um,
Yes.
Well, we appreciate all those legions of followers of the Word Track Power Hour. We appreciate having you around for another exciting week's episode of the Power Hour. And we'll see you again next week for even another more exciting, perhaps, episode of the Word Track Power. I don't know how it can get more exciting than this week's, but we always strive for even more excitement in our broadcasts. So we have that to look forward to. Next time we'll talk about, the NCAA tournament will be one week in, one third of the way through. We'll be down to 16 teams by the time we're broadcasting next time. So we'll have the Sweet
Yep.
16 to talk about. We'll see how our brackets are doing. Um, we'll also have the women's tournament will be underway as well. And we'll be ever so much closer to baseball season, which begins in 10 days from our broadcast. So 27th, I believe it starts, and it's the March 17th, it's special St. Patrick's Day episode of the Orange Track Power Hour being filmed at least on St. Patrick's Day. It'll be released on March 19th to our loyal followers. But
Which
um,
is
yeah,
not St. Patrick's Day.
not St. Patrick's Day. I don't know what saints.
Famously, not St.
Famously
Patrick's Day.
not St. Patrick's Day. I don't know what saint is on March 19th. Looking it up really quick. Uh, there's a St. Joseph. Maybe it's St. Joseph's Day. Yeah, St. Joseph's Day is March 19th. So still an important saint, but not celebrated in the way that St. Patrick's Day is celebrated, at least in this country.
Yeah.
Uh, but anyway, we have uh, all that to look forward to next week. And as always, I am Dr. Michael Werman. He is Dr. Andrew Scaff. We are the Morning Trek Power Hour. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel or our podcast, available on many different podcast delivery platforms, including the ones you're likely using right now, if you're listening to us on a podcast. And we thank you, as always, for your viewership, your listenership, your patronage, and we hope you tune in next week when we have another exciting episode to give to you. And from all of us here at the One Track Power Hour, we wish you the best of luck this weekend if you're making bets, as long as your interests do not conflict with ours. Although we have many different bets that we're making with our different brackets, so very likely they would conflict with ours, at least some of them, but most of them would also not conflict with ours because they'd be similar to what bets that we're making. So there's a myriad of uh, different options that you have this weekend, especially in the NCAA tournament. I don't know how many quadrillion uh, possibilities there are for brackets.
A lot of our picks are conflicting with our own picks.
Yeah, yeah. So we intentionally so
Yeah.
in some ways
Yes.
try to cover all of our bases. But yeah, we'll
Just
see how
don't
this
just
turns.
don't try to oppose Mike's proximity to Mike bracket, because that one's definitely going somewhere.
Yeah, that one is, or the Scaff's nightmare. You don't
Pick
want
against that one,
we don't
please.
want we don't want you to make those picks just to be a voodoo doll
Just to
for
spite me more.
yes, get a Scaff voodoo doll and stick him in the
Ooh,
right in the
not
sun.
cool. Not cool.
The K, yeah, yeah, the Jayhawk championship game victory over the Cyclones would be the worst scenario he could think of. So we hope that
Or
doesn't come to pass. But if it comes to pass, we will laugh about it here on the Morning Chuck Power Hour. At least one of us will laugh
one
about
of
it
us with
on the Power Hour. But we'll see what happens. That's not
yes.
that won't come to pass at least for another 2 or 3 weeks anyway. If it did come to pass, but if it does come to pass, but we still have that to look forward to. We have a lot of things to look forward to in the Morning Chuck Power Hour next week, and we hope you're there with us. And we're glad to have you. And as always, we'll wish you a good day.